Imagine a world where freedom is not simply the absence of constraints, but a profound and active force that shapes our very existence. What if the conventional understanding of freedom as mere liberty from external restrictions is just scratching the surface? Enter Friedrich Nietzsche, a philosopher whose radical ideas challenge us to reconsider our deepest convictions. In this exploration, we will delve into Nietzsche's intricate and often provocative views on freedom, revealing a concept that is as empowering as it is demanding. Nietzsche's philosophy is not merely an academic exercise, it is a call to live more intensely, more authentically, and ultimately, more freely. To appreciate Nietzsche's perspective, we must first understand the conventional view of freedom that he sought to transcend. Traditionally, freedom is seen as the ability to act without external constraints. This negative conception of freedom focuses on the absence of obstacles, legal, social, or physical, that hinder one's actions. Rooted in liberal political thought, this idea is epitomized by the image of a citizen unshackled from tyranny, able to pursue their own path. However, Nietzsche found this understanding to be superficial. For him, true freedom involved much more than the absence of external constraints. It required an inner transformation, a revaluation of values, and the creation of one's own path in life. Nietzsche's critique begins with a deep suspicion of the very foundations of conventional freedom. He saw the liberal emphasis on individual rights and freedoms as symptomatic of a deeper malaise, the decline of authentic individuality and the rise of a herd mentality. In works like Thus Spoke Zarathustra and Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche argues that the modern emphasis on freedom often masks a deeper conformity. For Nietzsche, the liberal notion of freedom is a form of decadence, a retreat from the more challenging and authentic form of freedom he espouses. It reduces freedom to a series of permissions granted by society, rather than an expression of one's inner strength and creativity. He warns that this form of freedom leads to mediocrity and stagnation, as individuals are content with merely being free in the shallowest sense, without striving for greatness. Central to Nietzsche's redefinition of freedom is his concept of the will to power. This idea is not about domination over others but about the drive to assert and enhance one's existence. For Nietzsche, true freedom involves the fullest expression of this will, where one continually overcomes oneself, transcending limits and creating new values. In The Genealogy of Morals, Nietzsche describes how traditional moral values, those of Christianity and Western liberalism, have served to suppress the will to power. These values promote humility, meekness, and the suppression of individual instincts in favor of societal norms. Nietzsche contends that this suppression creates a form of internal slavery, where individuals are no longer free to realize their true potential. True freedom, then, is found in the active, ongoing process of self-overcoming. It is the courage to question and reject societal norms and to create one's own values. This process is inherently risky and solitary, as it involves a break from the comforting assurances of conventional morality and societal approval. Nietzsche's idea of self-overcoming is epitomized in his concept of the Ubermensch or overman. The Ubermensch is an individual who has transcended the limitations of conventional morality and societal expectations. They are creators of new values, living life with a sense of purpose and intensity that goes beyond mere survival or conformity. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche introduces Zarathustra, a prophet-like figure who teaches the coming of the Ubermensch. The Ubermensch embodies the highest form of freedom, the freedom to shape one's own destiny, to live according to one's own values, and to continually strive for self-improvement and self-mastery. This is not a freedom given or granted by society, but one that is forged through personal struggle and creativity. Another crucial element of Nietzsche's philosophy of freedom is the idea of eternal recurrence. This concept challenges individuals to live as if they would have to relive their entire life, with all its joys and sufferings, over and over again for eternity. The notion of eternal recurrence serves as a test for genuine freedom. If one can affirm their life in its entirety and embrace it without regret, then they have achieved a form of true freedom. Eternal recurrence is a radical affirmation of life, demanding that individuals take full responsibility for their existence. It rejects the idea of an ultimate escape from life's challenges and instead embraces them as essential to the human experience. This concept encourages individuals to live authentically and courageously, making choices that reflect their deepest values and aspirations. Nietzsche's philosophy of freedom is deeply connected to the concept of authenticity. To be truly free, according to Nietzsche, is to live authentically, in accordance with one's true self and values, rather than merely conforming to societal expectations. This authenticity requires a relentless questioning of received wisdom and a willingness to forge one's own path. In Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche criticizes the herd mentality that dominates much of modern society. He argues that true freedom is not found in following the crowd or adhering to conventional morality, but in the courageous pursuit of one's own unique destiny. This pursuit often involves a rejection of comfort and security in favor of a more challenging and fulfilling way of life. An essential, though often overlooked, aspect of Nietzsche's view of freedom is the role of suffering. Nietzsche does not shy away from the harsh realities of life, instead, he embraces them as necessary for growth and self-overcoming. In The Birth of Tragedy, he explores the idea that suffering and struggle are integral to the human experience and that they can lead to profound personal transformation. For Nietzsche, the path to true freedom is fraught with difficulties and challenges. It is through facing and overcoming these challenges that individuals can achieve a higher state of being. This perspective is starkly opposed to the modern tendency to avoid pain and seek comfort. Nietzsche argues that such avoidance leads to a diminished and unfulfilled life. Nietzsche often looks to the artist as a model of true freedom. The artist embodies the creative spirit, the will to power in its most pure and inspiring form. Artists do not merely replicate reality, they transform it, creating new worlds and perspectives. This creative process is a form of self-overcoming, as the artist continually pushes the boundaries of their own abilities and vision. In The Birth of Tragedy, Nietzsche celebrates the tragic artist as one who can embrace both the beauty and the terror of existence, creating art that reflects the full complexity of life. This artistic freedom is not just about producing beautiful works, it is about living a life that is an expression of one's deepest values and aspirations. Nietzsche's concept of freedom comes with a profound sense of responsibility. True freedom is not about doing whatever one wants without consequence, it is about taking full responsibility for one's actions and their impact on the world. This responsibility is both empowering and daunting, as it requires a high degree of self-awareness and integrity. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche speaks of the weight of freedom, the burden that comes with the ability to create one's own values and path in life. This burden is not to be taken lightly, as it demands a commitment to live authentically and courageously. The truly free individual is one who embraces this responsibility and strives to live in accordance with their highest ideals. Nietzsche's views on freedom are particularly relevant in the context of the modern world. In an age characterized by rapid technological change, social upheaval, and a constant barrage of information, the challenge of living authentically and freely is more pressing than ever. Nietzsche's call to self-overcoming and the creation of one's own values resonates with the existential dilemmas faced by individuals today. The superficial freedoms offered by consumer culture, social media, and political rhetoric often mask deeper forms of unfreedom. Nietzsche's philosophy invites us to look beyond these superficial freedoms and to seek a more profound and challenging form of freedom. This involves a critical examination of our own lives, values, and choices, and a commitment to live in a way that is true to our deepest selves. Friedrich Nietzsche's views on freedom offer a radical and transformative perspective that challenges us to rethink our understanding of what it means to be free. For Nietzsche, true freedom is not simply the absence of external constraints, but the active and courageous process of self-overcoming and value creation. It is a call to live authentically, to embrace the challenges and sufferings of life, and to strive for a higher state of being. Nietzsche's philosophy of freedom is both demanding and empowering. It requires a deep commitment to self-awareness, responsibility, and personal growth. It invites us to reject the complacency of conventional freedom and to embark on a journey of self-discovery and self-creation. In doing so, we can realize our fullest potential and live a life that is truly free. As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, Nietzsche's insights into freedom offer a guiding light, encouraging us to live more intensely, more authentically, and ultimately, more freely. His philosophy is not just an intellectual exercise but a call to action, a challenge to live a life that is an expression of our highest values and aspirations. In embracing Nietzschean freedom, we can transcend the limitations of conventional thinking and discover a deeper, more fulfilling way of being.